Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm starting off a new reading vlog. I've decided I wanted to do mini TBR Star Hop more frequently on my channel. This is a mini readathon game board created by Stephanie's Book First. She plays a much larger game monthly and then once a year hosts a readathon with this board. I can see it's quite washed out. And I have, I believe, 2 reading vlogs from her readathons on my channel already, and historically this game has hated me. It's supposed to be a 48-hour readathon. I'm a busy mom of 3. I always aim to complete it within a week. It has taken me over 1 month both times because I always hit these black holes which sends you back to the beginning. So I'm wanting to kick off the new year strong. I want to read a ton of books this year and have a new record for how many books I have read. And I have quite the hefty January TBR, so I thought what better way to motivate me to get through that stack than kick the year off with a game of mini TBR Star Hop. I'm just playing this by myself. So I'm going to go over to my desk, do roll number 1, and then we'll chat about what book I chose. Let's hope that the game is nice to me because I love this game. I don't know why it doesn't love me back. I'm so ready to start the year off strong. I have my TBR books in front of me. This year it's going to be so nice and I'm going to get lots of reading done. I'm trying to put all the good vibes out there. 2, Moon, over 400 pages. I clearly have a lot of options for that. These are the 2 books I've started today. I don't know if Immortality has over 400 pages. Let's check together, shall we? It does not. Okay. I am choosing Firefly Lane by Kristin Hannah. I have started this book. I've only read part 1, but there are reading group. Definitely over 400 pages in this book. So I'm going to knock this one off my list first. Alright, so I only rolled a 2. We're not going very far, but at least it wasn't a 6 and hitting the black hole right off the bat. I got the prompt, a book over 400 pages, and I chose Kristin Hannah, Firefly Lane. This book is a little bit out of my comfort zone, and I don't know how quickly I can move through this, but I have started it. I'm about 100 pages in, and how many pages are in here? 479, so still plenty of reading to go. This is a hard-hitting, more general fiction following Tully Hart and Kate Malarkey and their friendship spanning decades. And I've already cried 3 times in the first part of this book, but I'm really enjoying it, and I would love to finish this and then watch the Netflix series. So this is the book I'm starting with. Again, don't know how fast I can read it. It's not really the most bingeable story. It's really well written, it's really good, but because it's touching on some of those harder topics, I'm finding I personally am not able to just fly through this book, but that's okay. I don't have a time limit on this game beyond theoretically finishing it before January ends, I would hope. guys, I am about halfway through Firefly Lane now. I just finished part 2, about to start part 3, the 90s, and I just wanted to quickly check in again and I'm loving this. As I'm typically a romance or fantasy reader where there's a bit more of a plot. Even in my romance books, I definitely prefer ones with some sort of plot and not completely character driven. This is entirely character driven. I would basically call this plotless. Like, we're just following these two women as they grow up together. They're the best of friends and they're two very different people, and I admire how they're very much individuals. There's a clear voice for both Kate and Tully, and where I'm at now, their paths are starting to diverge and they're working through this new aspect of their relationship, and I'm so invested in their lives and what is going to happen. There are definitely trigger warnings for this book. I don't want to say them here just in case it's a spoiler for someone with no triggers, but there was a part again in the second part that had me crying, and in the first part, like, they go through some really hard times, and I'm reading this much faster than I ever thought that I could. I'm looking forward to it. I mean, I'm not going to finish it today, but maybe tomorrow. I'm not sure. I'm having a fantastic time, but I'm also getting very excited to finish it and roll again. I'll check in with you when I have finished this book and I'm ready to do my second roll. Hi. I finished. I've been just crying for the last quite a bit of this book. My husband was laughing at me. I had full on sobbing, bawling reading this book. 5 stars. I am emotionally devastated. I have no idea how to pick up another book right now, but I had 3 things I wanted to point out. I've told you guys what this is about. I think this is hitting me especially hard as a mother and as a mother of 3 children. I related to Kate on a lot of things, and I wanted to point out some things that really spoke to me and really hit me. If you are very interested in reading this book, these passages may contain some spoilers. I will not overly explain what is occurring in the scenes. I think they will be most relevant if you are also a mother, just like I am, but maybe if you're also a mother like I am and you haven't read this book, I would definitely recommend that you do. In this part, Kate's talking about how tired she is, and I feel that a lot of people who are in the same season of life truly don't understand. But she says, I have a 10-year-old drama queen who plays every sport on the planet, takes dance lessons 3 times a week, has a busier social calendar than the Sex and the City girls, and don't forget about twin boys who rarely sleep at the same time, break everything they touch. How the hell am I supposed to do all that, make dinner, do the laundry, clean the house, and write a book at the same time? I know what you both think, what everyone seems to think. I'm supposed to just make time to search for my authentic self. I'm supposed to need more than motherhood. And I do, damn it. I just don't know how I'm supposed to do all of that and still be in the carpool lane on time. And there's another one, quite another chunk of the way through the book. So as time is passing, she's getting in another battle with preteen or a teenage daughter, And so Kate felt a wave of exhaustion so profound she almost sat down. Instead, she looked at her husband. How was it that he could do the same battles with Mara that Kate did, but managed to come out unscathed and loved? That happens in my household all the time. And lastly, here's what I want you to know. I loved my life. For so long, I was waiting for it to start, waiting for more. I'm gonna cry. It seemed like all I did was drive and shop and wait. But you know what? I didn't miss a thing with my family. Not a moment. I was there for all of it. That's what I'll remember, and they'll have each other. I feel like I read this book at the perfect time. This is my last full year of being a 100%, well, I haven't really ever been a 100% stay-at-home mom, but starting next year, all 3 of my children will be in school, and I'm going to want something more again. And even still, home for the last however many years, I have started my own business and kept busy doing so many things and never felt satisfied enough in just being a stay-at-home mom. And I feel like this book gave me a new appreciation for that season of life. I'm now going to roll for book number 2. All right, roll number 2. I'm going to re-roll. Fell out of my hand. 6. Oh my gosh. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is the first time I have ever missed this black hole. This is amazing. It's another moon prompt. I have shuffled my deck. Husband pick. Okay. I'm going to come up with 2 options and ask my husband Jeremy to pick one. Okay, these are the 2 options I gave him. Both of them are on my January TBR. Lisa Jewell, The Family Upstairs, a thriller, and The Winter of the Witch by Catherine Arden, the 3rd and final book in the Winter Night trilogy. And he chose the thriller, which I think this will be a faster read. So this is the next book I will be picking up. Hello, it is quite late and I didn't have a chance to check in with you guys at all while reading The Family Upstairs by Lisa Jewell. This is the book that Jeremy chose for me out of 2 options for the prompt husband pick. I flew through this. I read it so fast. I gave it 4 stars. This was so dark and twisty and such a fast read. I would blink and I had read like 75 to 100 pages. It's only just over 300 pages to begin with, but wow. I can't wait to pick up the sequel. I have placed a loan with my library. I didn't even really give a synopsis. We are following multiple perspectives and multiple timelines. At the beginning of like all of the timelines, does that make sense? We have a very wealthy family. The mother is a socialite, and at some point the children start to feel like the money might be running out, and slowly people start moving in and then they don't leave, and it has this like cult vibe, and then there is mysteries. Something major happens in the house, and we're also following in present day multiple characters, and they are seemingly unrelated to what happened in the past, but of course it all comes together full circle. This was a wild ride, honestly. I enjoyed it quite a lot, but I am ready to do another roll. All right, I believe this is only roll number 3. I will put it on the screen in case I am wrong, but here we go. 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh my gosh. So firstly, it's our 3rd moon prompt. A library book. Oh my gosh, I cannot believe it. The curse is over. I am back. I have passed both of the black holes without hitting it. If you don't know and haven't watched my previous mini TBR Star Hops, I get stuck in mini TBR Star Hop purgatory. I land on black hole after black hole, which means you start from the beginning. And it goes on for like over a month, let alone 48 hours, which is the intended time frame, or about a week, which I'm trying to do today. Hi, Emmett. I could not be happier. I still have potentially like this plus if I roll ones, 3 more, like potentially 4 more reads needed to finish, but that's okay because I haven't started over a single time. I'm so excited. This could be our second to last book though, but I did get a library book. I have 2 options. So the 2 library books that I have that are due next, they're actually due on the same day. I have God Killer by Hannah Kaner, which is a fantasy book, but it's under 300 pages, which is a potential prompt on here. So I was kind of keeping this book in mind for that specifically because I don't have a book under 300 pages on my actual January TBR. So I was kind of keeping this in mind for that, but now we're nearing the end, so I'm not sure. And then I also have the Hacienda by Isabel Canas, which is more of a gothic thrillery tale, which I did just read a thriller. So do I want a thriller or a fantasy book? This one is less than 350 pages. This one's less than 300 pages. So neither of them are overly big and they both need to get read soon so I can return them to the library. I kind of wanted to... The kids are being loud. I kind of wanted to save this one. So I think I'm talking myself into the Hacienda. Ooh. You know what? I am. The kids are getting rowdy. I'm so sorry. I'm going to read The Hacienda by Isabel Canas for my library book. Hey guys, checking in with The Hacienda. I'm now over halfway. I meant to check in around the 100 page mark, but I've just been flying through this book. I was able to get the audiobook from my library as well, which definitely is speeding up my reading. And I'm really enjoying this. I don't think it's going to be a 5-star, but this like spooky haunted house vibe is definitely really fun to read about. I'm loving the time period as well of like the 1820s Mexico. There's like a love interest situation that I'm really not that fond of, but in terms of like the vibes, the haunted house, thrillery aspect of this, like the gothic kind of aspect, I am really enjoying that. It's feeling like a 3.5, 4-star right now. We are getting into like some really spooky stuff is starting to happen and I'm having a blast listening to the audiobook. So that's just a really quick update. I will let you know when I finish this, and then hopefully we might have our final roll and that would be a free pick, which would be amazing. Hello, good morning. Don't mind me, I'm looking really rough. It is quite early. I just finished The Hacienda by Isabel Canas. I ended up giving this 3 stars. It really started to go downhill for me at the very end. There are aspects of this book that I really, really loved and aspects of this book that I really, really didn't. So I loved the setting, as I mentioned in my check-in, the 1800s Mexico. The atmosphere, like the gothic, spooky atmosphere was done so well. I loved the haunted house. What I didn't love was this forbidden longing or like romance in quotation marks that was occurring in here. And then there was some magical element, and the magical elements felt really, really out of place in this book. And like, I'm a predominantly fantasy reader. I love magic in books, but in this story, it just didn't work for me. I don't know. So I give it three stars. But that means we're ready to do our fourth roll. So this is where we're at right now. This was our third roll. I'm not even going to say anything out loud, but we're all thinking the same thing. This is the last spot. So let's do roll number 4. Of course, I was hoping to get to this last spot, have a free pick, and be done with this vlog, but that's okay. This game has been so nice to me overall. I haven't hit any of the black holes for once, so I'm not going to complain, but I mean, I should have saw that coming. But that is a star. So far, we've had 3 moon prompts, so it's nice to get something a bit different. Let me try and get just the one, obviously. A beautiful book. This is the stack of books I have out currently. When I think of a beautiful book, I'm kind of looking at these 2. So I have The Winter of the Witch. The colors on this book is absolutely stunning. I love the yellow orange with the purple, and this would finish a series. But I also absolutely love this cover, and I'm really anticipating this book. But it would start a new series. Oh, I feel like The Winter of the Witch is the smarter choice, but I mean, both of these covers are absolutely beautiful. Oh my gosh, what do I do? I'm going to be naughty. I'm going to choose One Dark Window. I've been wanting to get to this for months since my beautiful friend Oksana sent this to me as a surprise gift, and I'm really anticipating reading this duology. This is not the smart choice. I am supposed to be prioritizing continuing and finishing series I'm already in the middle of, but I'm going with this. Ooh. So One Dark Window, like I said, was kindly sent to me by Oksana. This is a gothic fantasy. I still am unclear on whether this is adult or YA. I'm sure I could look it up, but I've heard people say both things. It is just a duology. It's a completed duology. The second book came out in the fall. So if I love this, I can go get the next one. And I have really, really high expectations for this. It says Maiden, Monster, Murder. Elspeth needs a monster. The monster might be her. There is a bit of a romance in here as well. And I think I'm really going to love this. And this is also would have been a great option. These are shorter books, adult fantasy, Russian inspired, very cold, wintry settings. And I have absolutely loved the first 2 books in this series, and this would have finished a series, but this is the one I am going to choose. Hey guys, checking in for One Dark Window by Rachel Gillig. I am now on page 164 and I have some thoughts. Firstly, this is definitely YA, both in how it's reading and like the formatting of this book. Like the text is really large and things are flying by really fast. I am loving the like eerie tree, forest, misty type of setting that we have in this story, and Elspeth is an interesting character. We have a really cool magic system involving a deck of magical cards, but there was one critique I heard from someone else, which is totally my bad, and I've kind of latched onto it as I'm reading this. So Elspeth has a secret. She has a monster in her head. It says Maiden, Monster, Martyr right at the top. And this is a huge secret. Nobody knows. She has kept this a secret for 11 years. Literally has told absolutely no one ever. But then she just like accidentally lets it slip about a certain ability to a very handsome man named Raven. And obviously Raven is going to be the love interest in this fantasy romance series. And it just seems pretty unbelievable to me that upon meeting him very soon after would just accidentally tell him. And like, it's done to, like, things kind of cascade from there plot wise, but it just seemed really convenient. Like, I wish that the ability, like, I wish what happened in a more organic kind of way. At this point, I'm not really sure how this is going to go, but I am having a fantastic time reading it. Like, even though I have that issue, I'm still loving it and reading through it really fast. So, there was, for the first little bit, if I had checked in around 100 pages, I would have questioned, and maybe it's still a critique, how her ability is like relevant, how it came to be. But since that point to where I am now, we have been told that. So it's quite interesting. I feel like I still don't have the firmest grasp on the magic system because it's a little bit complicated in the sense of like the different cards in the deck do something different and have different consequences, and I still don't have like all of those straight so far, but that's fine. The atmosphere in here, like the gothic foresty atmosphere, I'm really loving. Also, all of the families, like their surnames are a type of tree, which is kind of interesting. I don't know. I'm having a really good time, but I'm also like just not fully obsessed with it, if that makes sense. It's feeling 4-star. Hello, good morning. I finished One Dark Window by Rachel Gillig this morning, and I ended up giving this 4 stars. There were a lot of elements of the story I really enjoyed. We have a dark, misty, sinister forest setting. We have found family in here, a really unique magic system that is different from anything else I've read before, which I absolutely love. But I did not love Elspeth as a main character. I think I talked about this in my check-in, her exposing a secret that she kept for 11 years and literally never told a soul. She exposed it with like no prompting, like, and literally for no reason, and that kind of sets off the plot and how it happens. But like, that annoyed me, and that's pretty close to the beginning of this book, and she never really redeemed herself to me. Maybe I'm just being stubborn and like didn't allow myself to like her after that, but like that really annoyed me. So she just wasn't my favorite. However, I do want more gothic romantasy in my life, so if you have any recommendations, definitely let me know. A 4-star is still a good rating. I'm definitely going to be reading the second book in this duology to finish it off, because things don't really wrap up very well at all. And even though this is a duology, the ending is quite abrupt. So I'm intrigued to read the second book, but I've already done my roll, and so I'm going to insert that clip here.
Oh man, spilled the beans.
To be honest, I thought for sure I would get another 1 because that is just the luck that I have, but we made it to the end. The last spot on the mini TBR Star Hop board is a free pick. I can choose whatever I want. Now, if I had read through these books as fast as I had wanted to, I would have chosen something on my official TBR, but I am choosing a Kindle Unlimited book. I'm choosing Cupid's Peak by Jacquot. This is one of the Holly Knight novellas. I have read 2 of them before. I would show you, but it doesn't have like a proper cover when I locked my Kindle, which was weird. These are all holiday themed. I read The Four Leaf and absolutely loved that. That one is St. Patrick's Day, right? Yeah. And I read the Christmassy one, Christmas on the 13th Floor. I really loved both of them. They're just over 100 pages, steamy novellas, but done really well. There's always some plot, some development, and this one is Valentine's Day themed. So we are now in February because I am slow at putting out these vlogs. And so I wanted to read just a short, spicy Valentine's Day novella to finish this off and to bump up my reading for the month because I'm not reading as fast as I would like. I look really rough. I slept in this braid if you couldn't tell. But I'm really looking forward to that, and I should be able to finish that really fast because it's like 100 to 120 pages, somewhere around there, and then I will officially have completed mini TBR Star Hop, and this was just so much fun. Hello, good morning. In typical Emily fashion, this reading vlog took way longer than I intended to get it filmed, but I finally finished my last book. I chose Cupid's Peak by Jacquot. This is a romance novella and part of her Holy Night series. This is the third one in the series I've read. They're all completely unrelated, but each one is a different holiday. So I've read the St. Patrick's Day, Christmas, and now the Valentine's Day one. This one is a second chance romance, and the kink is like public, what is that called? Exhibitionism, right? And the St. Patrick's Day one, the Four Leaf, was brother's best friend, I believe, and the primal kink. And the Christmas one was a workplace romance, like a boss and assistant. And the kink kind of like flowed into that of like a little bit of like a dominant submissive vibe, but not all the way there. Anyways, I gave this 4 stars. I really enjoyed it. It's about a little over 100 pages, and it was a fun, spicy time. I did read this on actual Valentine's Day. It is currently February 15th, so this vlog still took me a month to film, but I've read a lot of books in between the books I've read for this one, but this is my 5th and final read. So I read 1 Kindle book, 3 books off of my physical TBR, and then 1 library book. I feel like that is a really good mix. Also, excuse how I look. I'm still in my pajama shirt. I was doing my makeup and I was listening to an audiobook, a different audiobook, and I was feeling really anxious. I was listening to a thriller. And when you saw a snowplow. When I'm feeling like anxious and idle and in front of a mirror, I pick at my skin. And so I had my eyeshadow done, and then the thriller was getting kind of scary, and I started picking, and now I'm like, well, I can't put makeup on top of open wounds. So anyways, I read 5 books for mini TBR Star Hop, and I do think this is a great way to start my year. While I didn't focus on this one reading vlog, and like I didn't even read any of these 5 books one right after the other, I don't know why I can't start a video project and just read all the books I need to read for it and get it out to you guys. It'd be so much more efficient content wise. As I always mention, I'm filming like 4 different reading vlogs at one time, and then also mood read, have library books to do, get distracted by a quote on Instagram. Like, my reading is just so disorganized and chaotic. I'm currently in the middle of 5 other books for no other reason than I am so distracted. And for someone who, my life in a general sense, like, I'm typically a very, very organized person. Just with my reading, I'm very chaotic. Anyways, this was a great start to the year, and I'm so happy I did it, and I definitely want to do this more frequently throughout the year. So I was thinking quarterly or maybe every other month, which every other month would mean I'm starting one next month because this overlapped. Let me know what you think. I'm so grateful to the mini TBR Star Hop gods for finally being nice to me. I cannot believe I didn't hit a single black hole. That has never happened. I'm usually reading a ton of books. While I still read 5 because I rolled some low numbers, that's perfectly fine. I picked really great books. I'm very happy with the choices I made, and I'm so glad that I did this. I'm going to stop rambling. Definitely let me know the frequency in which I should do these videos, and I'll be sure to do that because I just have so much fun. I still have my monthly TBR, but then working through it and making the choices based on the prompts for mini TBR Star Hop is just really fun for me. If I do this again, try and keep me accountable so that I can do it in a shorter amount of time and like read the books one right after the other. It should still take me about a week, but if I'm not as distracted and picking up like 2 or 3 books in between each of these, it will definitely go much quicker. I don't know why I can't manage to do that. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this reading vlog. If you did, give it a thumbs up so that I know, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.